Hey everyone, welcome back to TBM Sports. What's going on? And welcome as we break down the MLB card for Tuesday, September 23rd. Fresh off a Monday night victory there for the Detroit Lions. Was a exciting week of college football and pro football, but in the midweek, as we do have just a handful of games left in the regular season for the MLB, playoff races are heating up. We're going to break down my three top bets for today's card, and we'll run the board and talk about a lot of the playoff considerations that we do have ongoing. Okay, so if you are new to the channel, this is a perfect time to hit that like button, subscribe down below, and join us. Okay. And we are going to use Outlier, as always, to break down the best and current odds that we do have out there in the market. Before we get going, though, a couple things I do want to highlight. This is where we can find the AL MVP odds that are as of yesterday. And if you guys have any good numbers, let me know in the comments, okay? The Cal Raleigh numbers, I just, wish for the season that he's having, I wish that he was in just a different market. But this has been an exciting race, and not sure, quite frankly, if these odds are true. This is coming out from Vegas Insider, okay? But for ESPN Bet, basically a neck-to-neck race, and BetMGM having it plus 220, best odds available for Cal Raleigh. Curious if those are actually legit, okay? And if you can find better ones, leave a comment down below. Give me the best plus money price you could find on Cal Raleigh, and also the lowest price you could find on Aaron Judge. Maybe a little arbitrage opportunity before we have some more data points. But, it'll be interesting to see how these voters go. If I had a vote, it would be for Cal Raleigh. It's never seen a catcher do kind of what he's done before. And he's a switch hitting catcher that does it defensively as well. So that goes a little bit farther, in my opinion, than a recurring DH outfielder that was injured for some time this year. Okay. So shout out to the Seattle Mariners. Great run. And hopefully the voters do this one with some objectivity. Okay. Also, we want to talk a little bit about what we have going on in the standings race. Okay. Heating up. And for those of you that did kind of jump on the bandwagon, here you see the Cleveland Guardians. They are now sitting on a wild card position. Okay. So the Texas Rangers are kind of that odd team out, as we do have the extended wild card format in the MLB. And also for the NL, the Padres, Cubs have solidified that, but the state of Ohio getting it done. Reds and the Guardians making their way back into the postseason. Very, very interesting seeing that unfold here in 2025. And all of the New Yorkers up there, the Metropolitans, they are still neck to neck right now with the Diamondbacks, fighting and jockeying for that last position. So there's a lot of things at stake, a lot of ways to approach these games, and we're going to get into it. But the one I care about is the Cleveland Guardians. One game back with a 3-game series upcoming against the Tigers. This will be a great big-time ball game today we have with Skubal and Gavin Williams getting that matchup once again. Just saw it last week, so a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. But that's kind of how the playoffs are unfolding as it stands right here, right now. Okay, so let's look at the odds, and we're just going to kind of I'll give you my leans for a lot of these games, and I will share and recap my best bets at the end of the video, as always. Okay. Tampa Bay and Baltimore. This is one where we do get a little bit of a breeze going out to center, and I do favor the total here in this game. I think this is one where we could see a very high scoring game. Total set at 9, almost 10. We're right at that cutoff line, in my opinion, for the overs taking shape. But wind blowing dead out at Camden, that does set up for me in an over. Also, we do get Pepio going against Kramer. They are some long ball pitchers, and in my opinion, this is something where I do think we get a lot of runs here in this spot. But Baltimore's been on a little bit of a scoring deficiency as of recent, so not an official play, just kind of where I see this one shaking out. The next game is an official play. We're going to talk the Pirates and the Reds. Now, a couple of different ways to approach this. Okay, and for me personally, guys, this is the Reds. This is a great spot for the Reds. Okay. Brady Singer's on the bump. They're going against Oviedo. They need to win this game. They are on an absolute mission, winning 6 of their last 8. Okay, jockeying for playoff position. And we're going to look at it 3 different ways. And I'm going to tell you which way that I'm going to bet it. And I'm not going to tell you that that's the best way, but that's the way I'm betting, okay? Because there are a few ways to approach this game. And the one that jumps out first, and it's the most risk, taking the Reds here on the run line, plus 145, okay? The Pirates have waved that white flag considerably, in my opinion. Oviedo for the Pirates just got absolutely shellacked last outing, and that's going to be what leads into the way I play it, and I'll share with you guys that in a second. I don't mind Reds on the money line minus 150. If you can get it minus 150 or under, I don't mind that whatsoever. Also, the not to bat in the ninth inning, I do think is a very strong option as well. But the value is with the plus 145. It's also the most risk. So if you do want to play a money line split, half unit on the money line, half unit on the run line, it's probably not a bad move either. Okay, but the way I'm going to play it is I'm going to take this one out of the hands of the bullpen. I do think that we get a great first five from Singer. And I know that the Pirates did take 2 out of 3 from the Athletics with some margin. And they are playing in Cincinnati where the ball does fly a little bit. We will have a slight breeze going out to left center and the potential for rain today as we've had a wet start to the week. But I will look into this game in the first 5, okay? And I told you guys, if you want to do a run line, money line split, you want to do a Reds to not bat in the ninth inning, you will get considerably lower juice as well. But the way that I'm going to approach this is a 3-way, okay? We're going to do a 3-way first 5. Okay, and that's where you're going to find the first 5 result. You can find that minus 117 for Cincinnati, okay? So if they get to Oviedo early, hold them off for 5 innings. The tie, we do lose this bet, but I think this is the best way to get the lowest odds in our favor as we take a Reds team going against basically a limping in Pirates club that, the Pirates need to win this, or the Reds need to win this game. So I kind of like that. The only thing I don't like is Brady Singer. His earned runs against Pittsburgh is 5.93. So it does give me a little bit of a pause. I just don't trust Pittsburgh right now to do anything offensively. So that's how I'm going to be betting this game, okay? Detroit and Cleveland, another game where we stay in the state of Ohio for these, and I do think that this is one that all eyes will be on. 6:40 first pitch. The wind will be blowing in. We do get the ace-on-ace matchup with Gavin Williams and Tarek Skubal. Got to see this one last week as well, okay? Total set at 6.5. As we look at this game, guys, it's going to be hard fought. The one thing that does jump off at me a little bit, and it's kind of like the Beehive handicap, with baseball, I kind of feel this way more times than not. Maybe it's something where you go back to when the Guardians played the Tigers, back when they had Justin Verlander way back when, okay? If you remember those games, Cleveland owned them. They owned the ace there for Detroit. Detroit's success came on I think it was Scherzer, and help me out, guys, another righty that got dealt. They had 3 aces there on that staff in that rotation back when the Tigers and Indians were squaring off for the AL Central crown. Drawing a blank here, and it's going to bug me, but I know exactly what pitcher is. If I do a quick Google search, I would find it like this. But they had another ace that got a huge contract and disembarked Detroit and left for greener pastures and some, I guess you'd say, some greener green, if you know what I mean. Those deals that Scherzer got back then in that time period was just insane. But looking at that now, I think that's where you kind of have to understand Cleveland is going to see a lot of action. Plus 135. I think they were plus 140 to open up. Total set at 6.5. So there is some value taking that run line plus 1.5 minus 140 if you wanted to get behind the Guardians. But I think this is an emotional bet. Yes, the trends say Cleveland is going to show out at home. They need to win this game, but so does Detroit. And I know Detroit's on a 9 of 10 skid. And I look at Skubal's last start, and I am a Cleveland fan, guys. I'm just trying to be as objective as I can. He went 6 innings, gave up 7 hits, 1 earned, and also 9 strikeouts, okay? So I'm trying to find a way to bet this game in a way that even if Skubal bounces back, Cleveland could still win the game, which I do think that is a strong possibility. Cover the run line, and we do see a great pitching bounce back here spot for Skubal. So I'm going to take the over 7.5 strikeouts at minus 115 on FanDuel. I think this is a very much a plus, I guess you'd say a plus advantage bet. I think we do get an edge here. I think Skubal is good for at least 8 strikeouts, and kind of how I see this one playing out. So I think he's going to get at least 8 at minus 115. I like this a little bit more. And if you do want to kind of dabble into the side and just play it outright, I would be on the side of the Cleveland Guardians. And, you could even take some form or fashion of a a modified same game parlay where we do have a total set at 6.5. Maybe we get, a low scoring, like 1-0 game tonight. It would not shock me whatsoever with the Tigers' inefficiencies and the way that the Cleveland Guardians have been playing baseball. I could see a low total. I could see the Guardians covering, say, plus 1.5. And also, Skewball gets 6 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts. If you want to do kind of modified same game parlay, I think that one will end up being profitable, as I do think that's pretty much exactly how I have this game handicapped. I think it's going to be a low scoring game down to the wire. How many strikeouts does Skewball get? And, will Cleveland eventually win the game? Probably not, but there is a chance, and that's why I like the plus 1.5. Okay. Next game, Miami and Philly. One thing that does jump off at me is the Phillies and who they wheel out. Christopher Sanchez. How many innings will he go? Okay, that's kind of going to be my kind of question mark here. And looking at that, guys, I think this is the right way to play it. If you were going to bet this, I still like the over. Okay, over 8 minus 105, low juice. Phillies could get this themselves going against the Marlins. Wind blowing out slightly, not enough to make me lend in that direction solely. But I do think that the Marlins almost $2 here, very much a profitable spot if you do want to play a straight money line. But I do think we get some runs in this game. So if you were going to back the Marlins, I would take them on the money line, and or I would take the over 8. Almost made my card as an over 8 play if Sanchez wasn't going, but almost makes me like that bet a little bit more so because his short leash gearing up for the postseason. Yankees and White Sox, they need a win. This is a parlay builder. If you want to add it, minus 250 though, I will never bet. So if you do want to back Luis Hill, take the Yankees minus 1.5. That's kind of where I would stack up at minus 118, but no official play. Red Sox and Blue Jays, okay? We do get Gosman going against Giolito. This is a plus 145 play for me in the Red Sox if you were going to get involved. Outside of that, guys, I think that the Blue Jays, they have lost 4 of their last 5. They're reeling a little bit, but something interesting about them is from the offensive numbers I look at, they are a top 5 team in the MLB, okay? And right now, the hottest teams in baseball, for my money, Yankees, Dodgers, Phillies, Blue Jays, and Diamondbacks, Mets, Athletics, and the Red Sox. If you were going to take like the top 5 to 7 teams, those are really the top 5 to 7 offenses to wrap up the season in current form. So I think the Red Sox get this one done. We're going to see a nice little game here that may go over the total of 8 as well. Washington and the Braves. We did see, I think that the Braves won yesterday as well. I'm not sure on that, so correct me if I'm wrong, but we only had 3 games yesterday. Yeah, they ended up putting a 14 hits and 11 spot on the Nats. So the Nats are waving that white flag. That's why we see that minus 190 price. Too bad for the Braves, though, as they are 9 of 10 of their last 10 games winning, now 74 and 83, but still eliminated from the postseason. And Waldrop going against Lord. This is kind of where I think we get a lot of runs here, guys. So I do like the over 9. I do like the Braves, but the over 9 would be my play if I was going to bet this. Mets and Cubs, okay? This is one where did make my card, but we get Peterson going against Horton, and it's going to be very hard not to make the case for the Mets here, plus 101, okay? That's where I think they need a win. I think that the Peterson numbers have been trending upwards, but still don't love it. I do like the Mets, though, offensively, and the Cubs as well, but I do think that we get potentially an over 7.5, but I would bet this one plus 101 if I was going to back the Metropolitans. In the next game, Rangers and Twins. The Rangers have dropped 7 straight, so I don't know what they're doing. They're trying to piss away their postseason, and the Twins, they're pretty much the worst team in baseball right now, in my opinion. So very cheap price at home, minus 126. They do roll out Patrick Corbin going against Zebby Matthews. So I do think that we see the Rangers kind of show some strength here in this matchup. Take care of business against Zebby Matthews. Cheap price to minus 126. Lean Rangers, no official play. Royals and Angels. This would be one that I do look into. Reagan's going against out of Gary there for the Angels. I like Kansas City a little bit. And personally, guys, this is where I see the club there for Angels and their pitching. I just don't like it. And Kansas City's been hitting the baseball somewhat decent. The numbers are kind of misleading. They have put up some big numbers here lately in their last 10 games. And I do think the Angels, the same thing goes for them. So I could see this game going over the total of 8.5. That's how I would approach this game. And also, I do not mind the Kansas City team total. Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. The Snakes are plus 140 on the money line. Kind of juicy and opportunistic. Shohei's pitching against Brandon Pfaadt. That's kind of how I would stack up, but no official play. I don't want to get involved with this whatsoever. I do think we get a higher scoring game as well, and kind of like the Dodgers team total going over. I don't always like to give that one out because they do always have that potential for a 3-2 or 1-run game. And right now, I think the advantage is the Diamondbacks on the money line just don't have the stones to bet that in today's market. Although I do kind of favor the over for the full game and the Dodgers team total. Rockies and Mariners. This is going to be Seattle, Seattle, Seattle. 9 out of their last 10 winners. Looking for Cal Raleigh to have a big game. If you want to get in his prop market, I think that we will see some more offense from him. They are playing in Seattle. No pitchers haven't been named yet. I will pull up some of his numbers if you want to see kind of the market for Cal Raleigh. And looking at that, guys, it's going to be something. Hits, runs, RBIs is how I would approach it. Plus 105 there, very cheap. So if you want to go Cal Raleigh over 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs, that's how I would look at it. If you want to look into the market where we couldn't find the 1.5, there's going to be way too much juice. Okay. The total bases, though, over 1.5 at minus 110. That's probably how I would stack up. Okay. I think that that's probably the best bet you can make here. If he hits a home run, great, but almost even money. Plus 246 for a home run. I'm not going to get involved with that. But I do think that the total bases and the hits, runs, RBIs over 2.5 are firmly in play. So if you want the plus money, take the over 2.5. If you want to just play total bases, go over 1.5. But I think that he stays hot going against a lowly Rockies team right now in this market. Okay, back into the board. We'll talk about the Padres and Brewers. Great matchup. We saw the Padres come back and win last night. Milwaukee on a bounce back, minus 102. They have Zimmerman going against Vasquez. It's just kind of an odds-on play against Milwaukee. Okay, they've lost 3 of their last 4. They are a better team. Padres need to win to kind of remain in the postseason. They can't lose out. But I do think that the Brewers here get this one done. That's how I would lean in the spot. 2 final games to talk about. The Cardinals and Giants, no play for me. We will pass on this one. This is just kind of a game not worth betting. Palante going against Logan Webb. At minus 195, the Giants are unbettable, and I will stay away from this one, although I do kind of like the plus 115 there for the Giants money line or Giants run line, but it's just not a bet that I'm going to be making. Okay, Astros and Athletics. This is the final game, and I do think that the Astros show face. And if you do want to find some juice, plus 146 taking the Stros at a run line price. Probably how I would stack up behind the likes of Christian Javier and Jeffrey Springs going at it. Don't like Springs right now in current form. The Athletics lost 2 of 3 to the Pirates over the weekend. And as long as Houston hits the baseball, I see them going over their team total. And also, I do think they cover the run line, but will not make my card officially. Okay, so that's where I'm at. Those are my best bets. We'll do a quick recap, get you guys out of here. If you have not hit that like button, please subscribe down below. But the best bets, we're going to go Mets, Cubs under 7.5 at minus 115. We're going to take Skubal over 7.5 Ks, minus 130. And also Reds first 5 3-way bet, minus 117. All right. Appreciate you guys. Good luck out there. Let's cash some tickets. And looking forward to some good baseball. Close out the regular season. Cheers.